Welcome back to the Tim and Steve Show. I'm Tim Beard.
I'm Steve Morris.
And Brent Wilmot.
Mark Chase.
Chief Mark Chase,
Chief
still.
Mark Chase. I am. Yeah.
You always be
For a
chief.
hot minute.
You always be Chief, though.
No, he won't.
No, I'm looking forward to just being Mark.
Just Mark?
Just Mark, yeah.
Isn't it like a respect thing, though? I always call like Jimmy Chief, Tim Chief, Cahill Chief.
I can say that the people that I worked for in the past, I still, I call him Chief.
I'm not calling you Chief.
Yeah. He's my friend.
He will not call you Chief either.
Yeah, no, he never does.
So how's it going?
It's going good, man. How's it going with you?
Not bad. 1 week left for you here.
Yep. 6 days.
6 days. Not that you're counting.
I'm not. No.
And then you start there that Monday?
Correct. We have a week together.
Oh, so you're an extra week there?
Yeah, we're going to transition. There's some things, even though he worked at Claremont, there's some things I want to show him and what had changed since he's been gone, leading the officers over here in Newport. So, yeah, we'll have a week to work together. So, looking forward to it.
You know
like
what?
Big shoes to fill?
What are you, 11 and a half? When he first got named Chief in 2017, I found a song for him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's copyrighted. I don't know if you can play it on the podcast, but you should see if you can. You can at least get clips of it. It's I Just Can't Wait to Be King from The Lion King.
Yeah, he thought he was really funny. Yeah.
That's
I actually downloaded
copyrighted.
it. Yeah, I actually downloaded it to my iPhone, so
Yeah.
I still play it from time to time and think of you.
Yeah, well, good. Well, it's your
He's sitting
turn.
around lamenting the days.
Yeah, I was saying he's like little Simba, you know what I mean? He wants to, rawr, I'm going to jump on the rock, rawr.
Well,
we have a wicked good viewership
Yeah.
on this show.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, 50 to 100.
Yeah.
good.
Steve's family in Texas is faithful viewers of ours.
Nice.
So whenever Chief's on, the ratings go up.
Yeah. But
They're going to go on
Brent's
more now that I'm picking on you.
Yeah.
Making little lion references.
Yeah,
Rawr.
it is kind of the relationship we have. But the good thing about that is that's the relationship we have in private too. We're usually going after each other pretty good.
Yeah, you're real ruthless.
I
Though.
can
Like you
be.
take
I
no
can be.
mercy ever.
I try, but
Like every once in a while, it's like, I feel bad because it's like, man, I've beaten him bad enough, and everything that we do. Like,
Except
do I
for
really
the,
want to
except
keep?
for the spicy comment.
It's just it was the relish. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah.
And that's what he did. Like
It was
he
the
knew he
rules
wasn't
that
going to
killed him.
win, so he just like threw out this thing like relish.
No.
Next thing he was going to be like, oh well, hey, I got hot mushrooms. Like I do not eat mushrooms ever at all
Yeah.
under any
That's
circumstance.
interesting.
It's vile.
oh, they're
Really?
delicious.
Yeah, nasty.
Yeah, I don't like mushrooms either.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I didn't change the
So-
rules on the relish.
You change the rules on the fly. That's the thing. Like life according to Mark. You make the rules and then you modify them.
It's like an older brother. That's what
Yeah,
older
so he'll
brothers
be
do.
like, "All right, here's the deal. I want you to select the challenge this time." And so I'm like, "All right, let's do something athletic." No, that's stupid. Okay, let's do something where like, I don't know, so you can stay awake the longest. No, that's dumb. So I was like, "All right, Mark, what do you want to do?" You know, he's already. Well, I was thinking maybe we could do like a hot sauce challenge or something like that. Okay, all right. So we're gonna do a hot sauce challenge. He actually came up with a good one recently,
Yeah,
and then bailed on
I
me.
had to. Yeah, it was going to be a little cooking thing, but we couldn't. Time.
Yeah, just
We're both short on time, so.
so there's like
who
a
knows?
chop thing that's going to be at the Opera House in Claremont.
Yeah,
Just so
this
we were
weekend.
gonna, yeah. So we were gonna like compete, him and Sharon against Jess and I. We were gonna compete in this chop challenge. Now I'm not a cook at all, and I was hoping it was gonna be something crazy like river eel or something.
But we couldn't. My schedule. I have something else going, so I couldn't. I came up with the idea, then I had to bail on him.
Yeah, that
so
happens.
So we could still do this at some point, though.
you never
Yeah,
know.
sure.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. They could cook for us. Whichever one of us survives is the winner, right?
There you go.
Right? Either of you cooks at all?
I can cook.
What?
I mean, I cook whatever, but like, I'm not.
Are
like
you more of a
smoke-
grill master? Or?
I like grilling. I do like grilling more. I smoke a lot of stuff, but I mean, I will be honest with you. I have a pellet smoker, so it's not the same as like.
Oh yeah.
Like he uses charcoal and stuff, which is harder.
Right.
know?
You got to keep the heat and
Yeah,
the pellet's feeding all the time. Right.
Yeah, the pellets feed all the time, so it's
Yeah.
so idiot proof. Like you could still mess it up, but it's pretty idiot proof. But like real people out in Texas and down south.
Real people in
Real
Texas.
people that
not
No.
Texans that like come up to New England,
No,
right?
real
But
pit
if you
masters.
eat my brisket, and
It
then you
tastes
go
different.
out to anybody else out here that says they have a barbecue restaurant, and then you try their brisket, you're going to prefer my brisket.
Really?
Yes, it's pretty good.
Why do you think?
It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
And I'm from Texas.
Is it a dry rub or?
I mix it up.
Do you?
I can do dry rub. I can soak it for a few hours. I've tried it all.
Have you ever done like a pig roast where you like bury the pig?
I haven't, but I've been to...
You've attended those
Yeah.
events.
We've talked about doing a whole pig. I was gonna do it for my wedding, and I was like, that's a lot of responsibility. Like, I'm kind of busy with other stuff going on to like
We did that.
make that work. But like, not like pig roast. Pig roast today, it's different. It's not the same. Like Dean Stetson
Yeah.
used to do pig roast, and I mean, amazing. But I'm talking like the whole hog, doing it up. Like I've seen him do it.
Buried
like,
it in the ground with some banana leaves wrapped around
No,
it.
I mean I wouldn't go quite that far. But
I've been to one where, I don't know if it was banana leaves, but they had it wrapped in leaves.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
that's a skill though.
Very-
That,
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can mess that up so easy. Like, yeah, everything's good except down that corner's burnt. You know what I'm saying? Like that's skill. Like that's skill. So like I say, yeah, I smoke food. Yeah, it's good, but it's not some of this. There was an 80-year-old lady down in southern Texas that literally gets up 4 a.m. every day, goes in this barbecue place, and I can tell you what, her food is way better than mine. 'Cause just there's like an art to it, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
but I like to smoke stuff. I love to grill, but I can bake. I can do whatever.
You can bake?
I can bake.
Wow. He's the pickling man over here.
Yeah, I can. I do canning and stuff.
We just found our man.
Yeah.
He's got a huge garden down there, and I've got a garden not that big, but you've got, 180 tomato plants? So you're going to do sauce. But I want to get into canning so
Yeah.
you can preserve it.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Find your jars now.
Yes.
I
yes.
bought
is
some
it
at
Yeah.
Overshan the other day just
Yeah.
to be safe.
Yeah. They've gone up in price.
You should start sugaring since you're retiring now.
Oh, I sugar. I make
Yeah,
maple
well,
syrup
yeah.
for myself. Yeah.
No. But I mean, like, you should like have a more robust sugaring.
Well, I don't
operation.
have that many maple trees. So.
We were
Can't
talking
do
about
that.
that. How many do you need to make?
I have 4. I have.
You have more than 4, do you?
No, yeah.
52
sorry.
acres of land.
Okay, all right. I was about to correct myself. But, actually, I don't have that many sugar maples up on the hill. So I have about 8 sugar maples surrounding my house that haven't been tapped in years, and I've been tapped them the last 3 years, and I can't keep up with the sap when it's
Oh, wow.
when it's truly running.
Yeah.
But I make like 2 gallons, and I boil it on a turkey fryer. You know,
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
cool.
I do want to get a little better system.
I think we should make you a building.
I already have the garden shed that I can convert. It has the
Oh, I
little
wanna
cupola
build
on
it
it
for
for
you.
the steam. You don't even own a hammer.
No, I do.
No, you don't.
Well, we were just
My wife
talking
uses
about
it to break my stones.
Yeah, there you go.
in our first segment of the show before y'all got here. We were talking about how many trees we thought we'd need to even make a batch of maple sugar.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I have an old sugar shack on my property, but I have like hardly any maple trees, which doesn't make sense. But originally the lot was like 100-something acres,
Yeah.
and they split it up.
Yeah.
So this is where they stored the sap, and then the actual sugar shack is like 2 properties over, which is pretty cool. Because I was like, oh, cool, do that. No, I got all trees on my property, but nothing's worth anything.
Yeah.
There's just
Yeah.
like little ones or pine trees that are like they.
Right,
you couldn't make
yeah.
a tree, a piece of paper out of about as but yeah. So what are you doing after this?
I don't know.
Not sure. Well,
No, not
that's
sure.
all right.
I originally I've been doing this since 1990. I've been working at Claremont or in Lebanon PD.
Let's pause. Let's
There you go.
pause.
There you go.
Let's talk about your life.
Can you turn his mic off? Or what are
Let's
you
talk
doing?
about your back and forth a little bit.
So I started at Claremont in 1990. I was a dispatcher. Well, actually, I started in Lebanon PD as a communication specialist. I was a dispatcher, answering the phones, and Claremont hired
Rotary
me.
phones.
Just about. Yeah, we did have rotary phones. Yeah, 1 computer terminal. Yeah, for sure. And Claremont hired me in 1990. I was a patrolman. I've stayed at Claremont for exactly 1 year.
April 1st, right?
April 1st of 1990, yeah. Until April 1st of 1991. Claremont was going through a pretty big budget crisis. They were talking about laying off police firemen. I was the junior officer, and they were talking about laying off 3, and I was one of the 3. And I had relationships with most of the officers up in Lebanon because I was communications. So I was certified, heard I might get laid off. They convinced me to apply up there. So a year later, I went to Lebanon PD, and I was up there for about 2.5 years. And, of course, I'm from Claremont. I grew up in a farm in Claremont. I'm still friends with all the guys and the people working at Claremont PD. So 2.5 years later, they're trying to convince me, oh, Mark, come on back. They had some people leave and some ups and downs in the PD. So I left Lebanon PD, came back to Claremont PD. In
What year was that?
Early 1994. 1993. 91, 93, yes, 2.5 years.
Okay.
So I was at Claremont, then I was at Claremont PD till 2002. So I got promoted, I did DARE, I was a prosecutor, did all kinds of assignments within the PD. 2002, we had some upheaval in the police department. I was a lieutenant at the time, and most of the... he loves us. Most of the officers that I knew up in Lebanon that were, my peers that I worked with back in the early 90s are now staff level and ranking officers up in Lebanon. And I stayed in contact with them. And we had some upheaval at Claremont PD with some police commission and some people not telling the truth. And I just had a bad day, and they had been calling me left and right. Oh, Mark, come on back. And that one day after I had a bad situation in Claremont PD, I answered the phone, and I applied back there. And I went back up there for, again, about 2.5 years. And we had a changing of the guard at Claremont PD. Alex Scott became the chief in Claremont. I had a relationship with Alex Scott. He was a county attorney over here for years, or assistant county attorney. And I came back to Claremont PD in 2004 after being in Lebanon for just over 2 years, yeah. And came back as a sergeant and got promoted to captain. Then I got promoted to chief in 2017 when he became the captain, or deputy chief. Captain, yeah. I promoted, yeah. So I've had a yo-yo career between Claremont and Lebanon.
But Claremont's very hard.
Yeah, Claremont. I've always, I don't regret those decisions of going to Lebanon in the early 90s and then the early 2000s. That helped make who I was and life experiences. Oops, sorry about that.
Was that Lebanon? Call to see if you want a job.
Heard you're looking for a job again.
It's my daughter. So it makes these life changes or these obstacles or whatever makes you who you are. So I don't change any of that stuff. But Claremont is where I always wanted to be. It's a weird pain that's in Claremont. It's a busy police department. It's busy. It's a busy little city. So is that me again? Sorry
I
about
don't
that.
know. Probably.
So
usually when I'm having media relations, I try to silence my.
I did, but I forgot my watch.
devices.
My watch.
New
and
at
so-
this.
Spam caller.
Yeah.
I just said a spam caller. They're trying to get hold of both of us.
Yeah.
Better extended car warranty's about to run out.
So when I decided earlier this year to retire, my original plan was go in 2024. I've been doing it 32 years. I wanted to hit 34-year mark, and I just had a couple things happen in my life, and I said, now's the time. It's time to kind of take care of Mark, and I announced my retirement.
And Sharon.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and Sharon. Sharon's my wife.
It's not.
Very
Hey,
important.
when you retire, it's not going to be the Mark Chase show anymore. Okay, Tom?
It never has been. So I really don't have a plan. I haven't taken a lot of vacations through the years, and so I've promised my wife we're going to take a couple vacations. We've booked them, and whatever I do next will just kind of flow. It will come to me, and I'll decide I want to do that. So
You have a gentleman's ranch.
I do. So I own a property off of Paddy Hollow in Claremont. It's got a few acres, and I board some horses there, and my wife owns a horse, and I got a garden. There's a lot of police officers, and you probably can relate with military and stuff. When it's time. And I found over the spring, I found myself I may work the weekend, but generally I work Monday through Friday. But I'm getting calls on the weekend at times and stuff like that, and I'm here or there. But I found myself on Sunday night, settling down after the weekend from mowing the lawn or shoveling snow or whatever, looking forward to Saturday morning immediately. Not that I didn't want to be at the PD, but I just wanted to be home. I wanted to be doing my stuff around the house. It's really, I grew up on a dairy farm, so although when I was a kid on a dairy farm and getting up every other morning to help Dad haul milk, it was a pain. But I would do that in a heartbeat right now.
You would?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You don't realize what it did for you back then.
How would you do that? Because you wake up so late in the morning?
Whatever. Jeez. Yeah. On the way over here, I said I woke up at 6. I woke up at 4:30. I ran 52 miles backwards in a leotard.
I didn't actually.
Then I read
leotard.
Sound like us?
No, like you and your brother.
Then I read Ulysses, and I read it backwards to front this time.
Memorize the top 4 quotes.
Yeah.
So I could ask people like Steve if he's ever heard of it.
Yeah. The cool thing is when we stump Steve on the show,
Yeah.
it literally will shut him down.
Really?
Because he gets right in his own head. You'll be like, "Hey, Steve, who was the 14th president?" And he'll be like, and we won't hear from him again until the next show. He'll be like, "My family's going to be so disappointed because the 14th president had heritage in Texas and blah, blah, blah." No, what was it? It was the...
Yeah, it was the Battle of Gonzales. With
Yeah, you went...
come and take it flag.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember the
you
name.
went totally catatonic on us.
Because it wasn't. I knew it wasn't the Alamo, and I couldn't remember the name. But Battle of
14th,
Gonzales.
wasn't that Pierce?
How would you?
Well, 16th was
Why
Lincoln.
About Pierce.
Because Pierce is from New Hampshire.
Oh.
Yeah,
only
16th
president.
was Lincoln, and Lincoln replaced Buchanan.
Yeah, so it was Pierce.
Yeah.
No ties.
Pierce probably did the worst
Yeah, he's
job ever
Right,
because he
he's-
probably plunged us into Civil War.
yeah.
But
Wow, until recently.
was it Buchanan? Was Buchanan before Lincoln?
I don't know. You guys
I think so. It's been a long time since
Steve.
I've studied that.
You're a West Point graduate.
I know,
I just
You
remember
had-
the 14th because he's from New
You're
Hampshire.
the
That's
only
all,
one
that's
at this
why.
table that had to have congressional nomination to go to college.
Oh, yeah.
I know. But I told you I was a rebel without a cause or a clue, and so I always thought it was ridiculous to memorize things like that because you'll always have the ability to look it up.
Well, when you went to West Point, dude, they didn't even have computers.
We had a
You
computer.
mimeograph things.
They had fax machines starting in like 1990.
What
We
am I
had-
googling? 15th president.
So you're ever like concerned you're going to get captured and you're like, who was the 14th president of the United States? I don't know. Can I have my phone?
No, I can take it on
Buchanan.
a dark turn, but I would.
Buchanan
I
was 14th?
15th.
15th. Yeah, so Pierce was 14th.
I like that confidence. You learned that in history, and that's
That's
pride
staggering.
Right there. That's like Texas
That's
pride.
Tim Beard
everyone,
stuff. Right
everyone
there.
thinks that Lincoln's the 15th.
No,
it's
16th.
No, 16th. It's like just the most common mistake people make about Lincoln would they think 15th for some reason, and then. But I just remember, I only remember Pierce because he's from New Hampshire. That's it. Like I couldn't tell you anything else really about him. But that's about
Was he
it. yeah.
involved with the glass blowing business or pottery?
Simon's brother.
Yeah, Simon's brother way back then. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Simon's brother.
Hey, I know a little bit. I'm learning. I still got a lot to learn about New Hampshire.
Yeah, we're all learning.
Yeah.
It's always changing.
What other cool? I'm gonna miss that. You should come in for coffee once in a while so we can talk like local history.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things.
Clem's got some interesting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean everybody does because this is just an old area of the country. But like, I don't know, like what?
Do you have any underground tunnels over there that?
They did. They demolished some of them when they redid Main Street. They had the old Joy Foundry. Of course, it wasn't built under Joy. It was Sullivan or something, whatever. But there was big tunnels under Main Street that they had to.
For what reason?
I think hauling coal and different material, and I don't really know.
Smuggling operations.
Smuggling,
Why they
bootlegging.
destroy him though? That's not.
Well, it was they had to run the pipe. They found pipes, the sewer pipes, the wooden pipes that they made back in the day. They
Yeah.
found some of those that were still there, and so they had to running the new pipes. They couldn't put it over this arch that was built in
Find out all
1812.
the sewer's been going in the tunnel that no one knew about. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder where that went for all those years.
Yeah, I thought it was this little smelly over here. Yeah, Claremont got some interesting stuff. Old Milltown. There's all kinds of stories that have yet to be told. I'm
Barber
sure.
Mountain.
Barber Mountain, yeah. Jarvis Hill. I grew up on Jarvis Hill, and if you look at some old maps, it's Barber Mountain. And it's a pretty big hill, but it's not Green Mountain, it's not Ascutney, it's not Sunapee, but it's pretty good size. And on the maps, it's Barber Mountain. And the story is, and it's in the Claremont history book, that Colonel Barber and his troops were murdered by Indians up there. So after that happened, that was known as Barber Mountain. I had my Paddy Hollow story.
Yeah, I was.
Now, I don't know this to be true. I've
Yeah,
not
but
seen
we're going to
in a
say
book.
it's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
It's my podcast.
So I was told. I live on Paddy Hollow, and I was told. So again, I don't want to say this is truth. I don't want to, I don't wanna
Allegedly.
allegedly, yeah. But the railroad runs parallel to the Connecticut River. Paddy Hollow runs parallel to that railroad, and the High Bridge in West Claremont and the bridge in Windsor are two relatively big projects in that. They're laying railroad between those, but this was a long project because it was the bridges, and the Irish built the railroads in the Northeast, and when the Irish came in to build the railroads, they kind of set up an encampment. West Claremont was a different place back then. It was Claremont and West Claremont.
Yeah, West Claremont was like its own
it had its own
village.
meeting house and stores,
Oh,
schools, that kind of thing.
City Hall was actually out in West Claremont.
Yeah.
Way back in the
Yep.
18th century.
So the story is that the Irish that came and were building the railroad, the locals, they set up encampment up by my place or by my area where I live now, or by my road, and the locals or the Claremont people would say that's where the Paddies are, up in the hollow, Paddy Hollow.
Oh.
Irish were treated very, very badly.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
When they first
Yeah.
immigrated here.
Yeah, they didn't want them. So, but they built the railroad, and that's the story I've heard. Now, I'm not. In the library they have. I checked it out once before. Yes, I did get a book.
You've been?
Yes, I've
Was
been
it
to the
on
library.
tape? Did you listen to it backwards?
But no, not yet.
While running?
So I checked out that book and looked at it, but I didn't look for that. I was looking at other stuff. I haven't done it since I lived up there, but I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense that why is it Paddy Hollow and the Irish? So I like the story. So
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah.
I'd run it, publish it.
Yeah, full send.
Yes,
Full send?
Full send.
Run it.
Yeah.
I actually, last week after the show, I was driving back and I was like, did I overshare that? I just don't want our listeners to be breaking in to that historic building and digging up the floor trying to find wagons.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's enough condition in Newport for that.
We have an older audience. We don't have the younger.
I don't like
kids
to use the term older, mature.
Mature.
Yeah,
Sure.
Mature,
yeah, seasoned.
seasoned.
Yeah,
Experienced.
wise, experienced. Yeah.
Like if anyone was going to break into the building,
Maybe
and,
you and me. Be us
Chief.
two. With you.
Yeah, sure.
I'd call you when we're like, we found the wagon. You know you would come. You know you would be
Oh,
there.
I would absolutely come. If you called and said you found the wagon, I would definitely be there.
Put the handcuffs on us and be like, "That was awesome, you guys, great job."
That's a good story.
Call your lawyer.
If you had to pick, in 32 years of police work, if you had to pick, one story to tell.
One story. That's actually been coming up quite a bit lately, and it's funny. Someone will share a part of a story, and I'll remember that I was there, and you just it's white noise back there.
I have a couple Mark Chase stories.
Yeah,
that
I know you do.
Share.
I know you do, but I tell you, a lot of the stories just kind of blend in with the years. So I like it when other people tell the stories and I remember it. No, I remember it, and they're cool stories. But I'm not a great storyteller on stuff I've been involved in.
He's got a particularly good ability to do impressions of people,
Oh yeah, I do. I pick up on mannerisms pretty quick.
but not on demand, right?
No, I'm not really good on demand, and you got to know the person to really appreciate it. And it's not.
That's the
It's
trick,
all in
though, is
fun.
getting
Yeah,
the
and
mannerisms.
yeah. Oh yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
voice can be off a little bit.
Oh yeah.
If you
Yeah,
look
I've
like
got one of
the-
him.
I say you must have
Oh
some
my
of
God!
him.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
you do not.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
It's not true.
We got a preview of it a while ago when he was talking about running backwards, listening to the.
Oh, that's Brent's. Yeah, he wears his emotions. He's kicked back.
I do not.
Whatever. That's another word he uses all the time. But when he's also got he has a look about him when he's like
The cat, the canary.
Yeah, a cat in the carrier, hand in the cookie jar, and it just got pulled back. He's got. So I've had to talk to him through the years about different stuff, and he doesn't move his lips a lot. What? No, I don't. No. Oh.
It's not true.
It is true. It is
crap.
true.
It's total
It is
crap.
true. So he's got that, and I break him in a real interview.
Oh, my
I
God.
break him.
Why don't we tell our viewers about
dry
the time that
stick.
you smashed into me in a car? So I have
Now,
I have two cell
I'll let you
phones.
listen to this, and then I'll tell you the truth.
So he says to me one day, he's supervising, right? And he's like, "Hey, meet up with me at the middle school." So I was like, "All right." He's got some other crazy theory that he's working on, right? So he's parked here, and I pull up beside him like this. Well, there's this old trick when you're pulling up like this, that this guy that's parked starts pulling forward, and then this guy believes that like he's just continuing to roll. So you can watch him freak out. He's like, like hitting the brakes. So he does that.
It's great when it works. Oh,
Yeah,
it's so funny.
he's doing that, and he smashes into my car. And then he looks at me and he goes, "Dude, you hit me." And I'm like, "I didn't hit you. I was stopped."
See, the trick on that is when they pull up and they throw it in park,
Yeah.
and then you just let off the brake and you start creeping forward, and you go, whoa, 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 and they freak. And I got him with that.
Yes. Did you hear his confession? I was in park.
At one point. At one point. So then every time he pulled up to me, he would think I'm about to do that. And I didn't do it all the time. And then
this
this
is
one day
garbage.
at 2 and 3 in the morning.
Revisionist history.
Brent, I need you to see you. I've got to correct some reports.
Yeah,
You did.
whatever.
And he pulled up next to me, and it was 3 or 4 in the morning. He was obviously tired. He pulled up and bang, he kind of.
It's not
he hits
true.
me. I was in park. It was at the middle school.
Not true.
So you couldn't pull it off?
It wasn't me.
It was
wasn't
him.
me.
He has
I
a
was
history
not-
of hitting his supervisors. in
I
cars.
did crash into a supervisor. That happened. I did that. It wasn't my fault.
No, oh.
He stopped into
Do
me.
you see it? He stopped into me.
He stopped into me.
Did you
Yeah.
rear-end him?
Listen.
That's another
It's
term
not-
for it.
Oh, I can't wait if I ever get rear-ended.
Listen.
He stopped into me.
Listen, we were going to an emergency call. We were approaching the yield sign at Opera House Square, and there was a car on the opposite side of the square, and my sergeant decided to stop. And we were driving rapidly, and I wasn't paying close attention to what he was doing. I was thinking about, what happens, when we get there, and blah, blah,
You're in the
blah.
zone.
I was in
You're
the zone. Thank you, Steve. It's always good to have a friend. Thank you.
After work, I'm going to run 5 miles. And I'm going to read chapter 5 through 8. Oh, I can't wait to tell Jess about it.
And I drilled him. And so, so the best part about that was, though, the cars were mangled, whatever. It had to get towed back to the police station.
They were only 100 yards up from the police
Yeah.
station, but
pushed
They
it
were
back.
so badly we couldn't push them. We had to tow them. So anyway, we both got the same discipline. And he says to this day that he still owes me a punch in the face for that.
Does he still work there?
No.
Oh.
We got the same discipline because I got a warning for having an avoidable accident, and he got a warning for not wearing his seatbelt. So he's like, "Dude, I owe you a punch in the face for that. How did we get the same discipline? You crushed me."
If we had this info before I went to Claremont, I'd be like, remember, this is a guy that wrecks your cruisers. It's going to cost you money.
yeah.
I got lucky though, because after that
Tom and Dale's loved him.
I got assigned to detectives after that, and I didn't have to drive for 2
Yeah,
years. So I wrote out the probation for.
So do you have a driver over there?
No,
That's
we
probably a
don't.
position you want to add over there.
Yeah. See if he can budget that now. Well, he'll just run everywhere.
That's true.
And read. I'll read my way right to the
We
station.
tell all our listeners if the chief's chasing you, don't even bother to get
Yeah,
out and
no,
run
no.
because he's going to catch you.
Oh, yeah,
It
yeah.
might take 5 minutes, might be 10 minutes, but he's a marathon runner, so he's going to get you.
That is a very typical thing when we do our operation plan for whatever we're doing, whether it's a multi-arrest or it's hitting a house or something. We usually always pick him as the runner. You're in the point.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm getting old. So it's like I don't want to do that.
You're
anymore.
still
We
the
need to have-
runner.
we need to have like a younger, skinny guy that can do that. Now,
You're
you
the
know?
runner. Chase him down. You don't have to catch him. Just wear him
I'll tell you
down.
another good Mark Chase story.
All right.
So, and I'll make it appropriate for our audience. So, we went to a call one time, some sort of unwanted subject or whatever, and we get there and there's this lady in this house and she's out of her mind, belligerent. It's it's time to go. So we're trying to be like decent, and he's got the patience of Job. So like warning after warning after warning after warning after warning after warning, and I'm just like, when is this going to end? Can we just like can we finally just like put this to bed and like arrest her or something? And yeah, she decides to go hands on, and so I end up grabbing onto her arm or her hand or something, and she bit me. And she bit me through my finger, all the way through.
A scar there.
And blood starts running down my hand. So I pepper sprayed her or whatever. We go back to the police station. We get her into custody or whatever. But she's pepper sprayed. So she says to him again, patience of a saint.
Yeah.
She's like, Mark, can I wash my face? Okay, you can wash your face. So clear as day on the camera. You can watch her. She's washing her face, and she looks over her shoulder like this and sees him, and she goes, throws a handful of pepper spray spit
snot,
right in his face.
Oh, yeah, he liked that. Yeah.
And then we ended up wrestling with her on the ground. It was
And now she's wet. Yeah, that was. It was. That definitely was a memorable one. That's for sure. That's for sure. But yeah, I was very patient with her. I've known her since she was a little girl, and I was overly patient. And then, why didn't she throw it towards him? He's the one that did the spraying. But no, yeah, she does. She looks right up at me, gets a handful, right at me. Oh, whatever. We won in the end. She went to jail, and she's whatever. But those stories are actually, you look back on them, they're pretty funny. So, the stuff we see.
It's good to have stories like that.
Oh, yeah.
You showed patience and
I
kindness.
did.
He has the patience of Job.
I have found doing this job, your biggest weapon is your mouth. Being able to work with people and talk to them, and I can talk to just about anybody.
Yeah, that is absolutely your strength.
Yeah,
You can talk to
so
anybody.
I may not want to talk to anybody, but I can talk to anybody.
The problem with a guy like that, though, is that they always think they can talk themselves out of a situation, and sometimes they get themselves out over their skis a little further.
And that's happened.
So like we've had people, in the jail cell, and they're like, "I am not coming out of here without a fight or whatever." And he's like, "Why don't you just go talk to him?" I'm like, "Ain't gonna work, dude. Let's just open the door and I'll talk to him." And sure enough, we're throwing haymakers by the end of it.
Yeah.
How'd that work, Mark?
There was
Yeah.
He was involved in an arrest, and that was that. This guy was not being cooperative, and I said, okay, let me talk to him. I can get this.
And
done.
it went bad.
It went bad. So I didn't have the skill that day. So.
Yeah, for the most part, I think that works. That's like I can get along with anyone, talk to anyone.
Yeah.
It's just who I am.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like that person, but I'll make it work. I like more for my personality work.
Yeah,
But some people, that would set them off because they want to be confrontational. So if you're like, calm down, and that just like makes them blow up.
Oh yeah. That has definitely happened.
I bet.
And they have a preconceived notion of who we are or what they think we're going to do, and you just can't always win that over. That's for sure. That is for sure.
I don't know. These two showing up in uniform would be kind of funny. You guys are you're
that's
together.
good cop, bad cop.
Oh no,
I'm always a good cop.
when we we're game faced when we're on the calls for sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. There are certain people when you go, it's like when you figure someone out and like, and you're comfortable working with them, it becomes a lot more fun because you kind of know what you're going to get.
It's nice
with them.
that it can be that way because it makes it feel less like work.
Yeah.
Sometimes even when you figure someone out, though, you're like, I don't want to go to this call with this guy because no matter what, like
it's going to go bad.
You could piss off the Pope or something like that, but like, it's more often than not.
In our customer base, we get to know our customer base. They're quite often repeat customers. So a lot of times, that extra, that person we were talking about earlier that I tried to give many breaks to was just someone I dealt with for years, and that rapport usually worked, but it doesn't always work.
Right. Do you find that
and she probably was playing me that whole time. until he pulled out the spray, so because I'd given her breaks.
Pulled
or
out a
helped her
spray.
out.
It's like let's forget about the fact that she bit through my hand.
She did bite him. Why are you putting your fingers by her mouth?
Dude, I was trying to protect you. She was assaulting you. She was striking you.
She was striking me,
and I
yeah.
was like, this has got to end. Like, and I had a trainee with me too.
Yeah.
So I was
he
like,
did.
I can't let this young police officer watch this person assault the captain of the police department and just stand here and twiddle my thumbs. Like, I have
do
to.
something.
Yeah, I have to show that, like, as an officer safety measure, we have to protect ourselves,
I'm sure all that went through his mind right there. Yeah, exactly.
As blood was running down my arm.
He's
And then
very quick to show you the scar too.
Yeah. And then I got in trouble because I swore. And he yards me in after, and he's like, dude, watch your mouth. And I'm like, watch my mouth.
Blood running out.
I have blood, like, squirting out.
Watch
I mean,
your
it's
mouth.
arterial at this point.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. It looked like a movie prop. It was squirting so far. Yeah. It was a good learning moment.
He's like, you
for
have a trainee.
I
You
took
can't
advantage
talk
of it.
like that. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
you can't bite me through my hand and expect me to be cool with it,
That would be the hardest thing. Like,
Oh, darn it.
I would. Being that would be the hardest thing. I think for part of your job would be keeping it cool and not swearing. Like, trying to be professional. Because for me, it's like tough even when I do the show. 'Cause there's certain words I try not to use. The F word's one of them.
Right.
In my normal life, I use
Try
it all
not
the
to.
time. I try not to.
Right.
It doesn't always happen, but so.
It's a good placeholder,
Yeah, it's hard because
It is.
He's already telling me, he's like, "What? You gotta stop saying crap and what's the other
Moron.
one? Moron." But it's because there's other words I'd like to use but I don't want to use them on the show. So it's like, but that'd be hard. Like someone bit your finger like that, I'd be swearing too. Like, yeah, it's got to be hard as a police officer to keep yeah.
The training immediately starts when you become a police officer at the academy, is to be able to handle that
Right.
and compartmentalize that. And it's not you; it's the uniform. You've got a job to do. The customer's not always right, but you got to treat them. You had the Constitution out here on the table when
Right.
that's the guide, and we've got to hold ourselves to that level, and that's why I had to have that teaching moment with young Brent.
Okay.
Okay. And
Let's go back to talking about you stories.
It obviously resonated because you still have that in your book.
Just like to have fun.
Yeah,
It's a fun
yeah.
job.
It is a fun job. It is a fun job. There are long and tedious days, but generally it's fun.
I will give Mark a compliment. I'm going to get away from all the serious stuff because this is not what this show is about. We're not going to be serious today. We're going to have fun. I don't know as though I've ever met anybody that can take bad news better than him. So, like, I can call him in the middle of the night and be like, we have a serious problem. Either we have, like, dead people or, dude, so-and-so
madness.
was driving 85 miles an hour down Washington Street and totaled our cruiser. And he's like, okay, is everybody okay? Like, that's it? That's all I get? He's like, well, And he usually, when he answers, like, in the middle of the night, it's you'd thought he was like up reading his TV guide or something, having a Werther's original or something,
Butterscotch candy. Yeah, I can wake up quick, so it drives my wife nuts because she thinks I'm putting on an act when I answer the phone at 2 a.m. Hello, just normal. I sound like I'm like you said, like I'm awake.
He was.
But I'm totally asleep.
Oh, I got another good story for you. This is a really good one. So, I don't know how long ago it was. It was probably 2016, I bet. Probably the fall of 2016. And I was working midnight shift, and he was the captain. Chief Scott was still there. And I don't know what I'm doing. Nothing. And scrolling through Facebook or something, and I see that his wife posts something on Facebook that she's like having a difficult time sleeping. So I sent her a text message. I'm like, "Hey, you're up?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm up." I'm like, "Well, I'm out and about. You want coffee?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." So I go to Dunkin' Donuts and I get 3 coffees, one for Sharon, one for me, and one for Mark. So I get over to the house. It's like 4 in the morning, right? I get over to their house, and I said, "Is Mark? Is he awake?" She's like, "No, he's in bed." And I'm like, "Get your phone ready." She's like, "What are you going to do?" And I'm like, "I'm crawling in bed with him." So we tiptoed down to the room, Now, his wife, I love her to death, but she's an absolutely evil person.
Yeah, she is.
She schemes big time.
She does. Yeah.
So I walked down to their bed. I'm dressed in uniform, right? And I crawl into their bed. First of all, I confirmed that he wasn't naked. But, I crawl into their bed.
I had a T-shirt on.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fine.
And I snuggle up behind him, so he thinks it's Sharon, right, coming back. And he kind of slowly rolls over, and you can see like the look of like excitement, like it's time, right? And he sees me, and his eyes. Morning. I got you a coffee.
Good guy, huh? Yeah. Good guy.
Yeah.
Your wife should have ran in and be like, "What are you two doing?"
She was filming.
Where's the video?
Yeah.
I want to
I
see.
don't know. I bet Sharon has it
She has
somewhere.
it. She has the picture. She has the picture. We may see that again.
There was. Does she really?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There was another time when. So your oldest daughter's 30.
Courtney is 30. Yeah.
Yeah. So when Courtney was probably like 17 or 18 or whatever, everybody used to mess with him big time about, father of daughters, right?
Yeah.
And I know this is, sorry, because Steve's also a father of an 18-year-old daughter too. So Sharon and I had concocted this thing to stress him out a little bit because, again, Sharon she really likes to stress him out. So he was working a night shift one time. She was like, "Hey, I've got an idea. I want to mess with Mark." And I was like, "All right, well, what do you want to do?" And she's like, "Why don't you come over here some morning and be like in a bathrobe, and I'll call Mark to come home for breakfast, and you can be like in a bathrobe in the kitchen cooking pancakes like you spent the night." I'm like, "You think it'll take it well?" And she's like, "No, not at all, but it'll be funny." And I was like,
When
These
you
are my
got there-
friends.
When you got there, were you like,
"That didn't happen.
It
We
didn't
never-
happen.
We never made it happen."
Yeah. This is the coulda, shoulda, woulda plan that they have that they wish they did.
We did, however, and we were just talking about this yesterday. We had
yeah.
we did a running relay. It's a relay race, and again Sharon was involved in this, but
Yeah.
Katie was probably
She
in
was
high school.
Yeah. She's senior.
Yeah. So one of my friends, Skip, he's 2 years older than me, so he's probably like, I don't know, 15 years older than Katie. So we get Katie to call Mark. And so Mark's in the van with us, right? We're not running at this time. She's like, "Hey, Dad, how you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. She's like, "Oh, good, Katie." You know, he's consummate gentleman, right? And he's just a loving, doting father. Nice guy. So they talk, whatever, nonsense talk. And then she's like, "Dad, could I borrow some money?" "Yeah, sure, sweetheart. What do you need money for?" "Well, I was hoping to go out to breakfast." "Okay. Alone?" No. With Skip." And like we could hear the conversation, and he's like, "You," and he just hangs up the phone.
It was when you had the flip phone. Smack.
Like
I
how
knew they
hard-
were up to it. Yeah. Yeah.
so when he left Claremont, come to Newport, did you throw a party? Or?
No. I was sad. So.
You want to tell him how I told you?
So yeah, the funny thing about when he told me, so I, friends with Jimmy Burrows over here. When he announced his retirement, I was immediately concerned that because I know the how many people probably are qualified to do that job and what they're going to do. And Craig was very adamant in not wanting to be chief over there, I think. So I'm thinking, oh, geez, they're going to start poaching. And he came to me like almost immediately. "Don't worry, I'm not going to apply in Newport." I said, "Oh, okay, all right." Let it go. Never talked about it again. So one of the tasks I had as a captain, the second in charge of the PD, is putting the fleet together. Every 3-4 years you buy cars and you have to navigate the financing, purchasing the cars, getting all of them upfitted and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, oh, this is perfect. I did the last fleet. That was my last fleet. I'm going to show Brent how to do it. So we have to go pick up a car down in Adamson. It's in Haverhill. There's no really local vendors that do it on that scale. So we're driving. I said, "Okay, hey Brent, car 8's ready. let's go down. I'll introduce you all the people down there because this is your baby now. I'm not doing it anymore. Okay. So he hops in the car and we start chatting. I buy coffee because that's what I always do.
Whatever, dude.
He never has his wallet.
Yeah.
Oh, where is it? Where is it?
Seems familiar there.
I like that move.
Can we go back to my house? Oh, I forgot my keys. Oh, I'll get you next time. But anyway, I get coffee and we go to Concord. We get on 89. We get on 91, 93. We get down below Manchester. We're crossing over into Massachusetts and then heading back over to Haverhill. I don't even know the routes. I know the interstates, but after you get into Mass, I know where to turn, and I couldn't tell you the route or anything like that. So I get on the first one and I get on the second one. We're literally about 7 miles away from Adamson, which is in Haverhill, Mass. So I wanted to tell you, so I'm going to apply for the Newport Chief's job. So immediately everything starts processing in my brain. I know his caliber, I know his quality of work, I know who he is as a person, and I'm immediately thinking he's gone. Immediately. And now I've been down to Haverhill, I've been down to Adamson 100 times in my police career. I can do it right now without thinking of it. I got lost. I missed the exit. I went to the next exit, turned around, missed that exit. I had a hard time finding it. And then, so I
Mark,
had
is it always this screwed up getting down here?
So I have about 20 minutes with him. Now I'm getting lost and getting frustrated. We get down to Adamson, and the car's ready. It's idling in the parking lot. And he takes a new car, and then I'm spending 2.5 hours driving home thinking about this while he's speeding away in the new car going, what just happened?
That's his version of it. Mine's
That
a
is
little bit
that is
different.
an accurate version of it. But yeah, I got lost. I was just I once I heard he put in his name over here, I believed he would get hired, and he did. So once again, I was right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
That happens a lot to you, doesn't it?
What?
That he's right.
What do you say? I'm wrong once a year?
I allow myself to be wrong once a year.
But
Yes.
usually you're just mistaken. And
A
you're
lot of
never
times
wrong.
I'm mistaken, yeah, but never wrong. Yeah. Sometimes I'm not wrong until like December 30th, which I'd rather get it right out of the way in April, January or something like. But you can't plan it. You can't purposely make a mistake. That doesn't count. So.
He got me back into running.
Yeah.
Really?
He has all the credit for it. Yep.
Yeah.
So in 2008,
6, 8.
yeah, I was going through a heavy phase, we'll call it, and he says to me, he goes, I think I can do my PT test better for my age than you can do it for yours. And I was like,
Because I had just watched him run his PT test, and
Yeah.
and I'm looking at it going, I can, So we always have this challenging thing that goes on. But
and I was like, no, you can't. He's like, well, I'll challenge you. It's like, you're on, dude. So yeah, I turned it around. And that was
yeah. I'm very happy with what I ran, but he
You did
crushed
good.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I ran
you
a mile
did
and a
good.
half, and I was 40 at the time. I was
Yeah.
in my 40s, and I ran the mile and a half in like 10:25 or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's what I was shooting for, thinking, if he runs it in 9:50, I still win. You ran at what? 8:50? What just happened? So, but very cordial when he defeated me. So we had a whole crowd down there and everything.
We did.
Because we kind of it was a year-long challenge. I watched him do it. We do our PT test in September at Claremont PD, and I basically laid out the gauntlet was for the following year. So it was.
I wrote a journal entry, and it was like in the spring of 2009. No, spring of 2008, I believe, something like that, 8 or 9. And I kept a journal entry the first time I went running after I tried to turn it back around, and I weighed 210 pounds, and
You weighed 210?
yeah, swear to God. I have a picture of it, too. Don't you effing dare. I swear to God.
Put that up on
What do you
the
weigh
screen.
now?
175.
Hey, so you're not as skinny as I thought. Well, as
So
light
at my
as I thought. You're
lowest,
skinny.
right after that, I weighed... I hate you. I hate you. Don't...
Well, I won't put it on camera or anything, but yeah, that was It's a little picture. That's what shows up when he calls
What's
me.
up with the hair?
So yeah, I weighed 210 pounds at my skinniest. Shortly after that, I weighed 157 pounds. But there was some stress weight that had come off that. So mostly because I had to protect him from getting beaten up by women. But be that as it may,
And inspire my wife to cause stress in my life. Yeah.
So this journal entry I wrote basically says, like, my only goal right now is to just beat Mark Chase. That is it. And I've saved that in perpetuity.
That's good though. You got to have a good relationship like that. It makes work.
Yeah.
If you can't have fun, what's the point?
Yeah, this job is hard sometimes.
It is.
You know what I
It
mean? Like
is.
long hours and
You hear sad news all the time. You see sad people all the time. You see horrific events. You got to find. You got to find something.
Train hard but play hard.
yeah,
Right.
Do you think that like our story? I mean, I think sometimes our stories are actually kind of dull and they're kind of stupid. But like, I don't know. Maybe we just make them out to be like a lot more exciting than they really are.
No, they're good.
You think so?
I can relate, but they could. I'm military, so it's very similar to
Yeah.
how relationships are there. How about you with your civilian lifestyle? You're laughing over here. We can go back and watch the tape.
Oh, your story's hilarious. Yeah. I love police stories. Like, I was friends with another police officer that had, I think 30 years on the job that had just tell stories after story after story after story. Like, some people can't, but police officers tend to be like...
Our humor is dark. It's
Yeah,
very,
it is very dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
very dark.
Yeah.
And you can take something like... I mean, some people look at that as like a horrible event. You get your finger bit and everything. You guys turn it hilarious, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's how...
Yeah,
so,
5% for effect.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an arterial bleed, but
Right, yeah, something like that.
I mean, it was funny.
Amputation
It's
and
funny
all.
now, but then, I mean, it was life-threatening. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I would be nervous because you got your skin.
His
broken.
Hello Kitty Band-Aid fixed it all, though. So
You got a Purple Heart for that, too.
I'm trying to think of some other good Mark Chase ones.
yeah.
He tried to jam me up one time, but he didn't have it. Wasn't there.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever. That's your story. You stick with it.
Yeah, he gives me a hard time about like this. I had taken this piece of evidence, and he gave me a hard time about the fact he thought I had done something improper with the evidence, and I was like, I didn't do anything improper with it, dude. I did, and whatever. So he's giving me a hard time, and then sometime later, he's driving down the road, and he looks up and he's like, "What's that over the windowsill?" And he pulls it out, and he's like, "Huh. That's that piece of evidence."
Well, it wasn't evidence. It was property.
Yeah.
It wasn't evidence.
Wilmot
of
was
any
right.
crime,
I was wrong, but I'm never going to apologize. Even on the eve of my retirement.
Nor do I need to. Nor do I need to, young man. But yeah, you gotta find humor in it. If every job, you got to find the humor in it. Whether you're working at Subway or in a shop, you got to have fun. If you don't, boy, it's a long life.
miserable.
Yeah.
I found a picture that you took of me the other day, and I was sort of disappointed by it.
The picture or the picture of you?
He served me one time with a lawsuit, with a federal lawsuit.
Yeah.
He gives it to me, and so he's like, "Hey, don't open that yet." And I was like, "Okay." So I have this thing in my hand, and he takes out his phone. He's like, "All right, you can open it now." So I open it. It says, "The United States of America versus," and I'm like, and he got my picture at that moment.
I think it needed to be memorialized. There you go.
Well, you're still here though.
Yeah. That's
Still pending.
No, it's not pending. No,
it's gone. It's gone.
It all
Yeah.
got settled.
Yeah.
It just happened to be at work at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So,
That happens.
but
I forgot I did that.
yeah, that was a good one.
That was
Thank
a good
you.
one.
Yeah,
That was a good one. I would just wanted to preserve it for the history books, for
Yeah.
the book that you write.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if you ever have any questions, this will be on the internet forever.
There you go. There you go.
There until we get kicked off the internet. One or the other.
Yeah, that's true. If
So-
we do, then we'll send it to you.
There you go.
Like, you guys had so much fun over there. Now he's going to be leaving.
Yeah, but he's still gonna live in the town.
Yeah.
He'll just be hanging out.
Yeah, I'll be that guy in the corner.
Yeah,
I've already
creeper.
told the officers at the PD I'm going to be the guy calling every time.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh
someone.
my God! You're supposed to have a blue stripe, not a red stripe.
There's a car speeding here and this that.
Oh, that's what Tim does.
No,
You think
that
it'll
was
be hard for you to
four-wheeler.
let go?
I think it will be a little difficult. I was just telling another officer today I know what happens when you, and this is any job, when you leave the employment that you've been at for so long. It could be a teacher at a school. When they leave the school,
Excuse me.
a couple years later, they walk in the school. There's a lot of new faces that they don't know. I've been at Claremont PD one way or the other since 1984 as a cadet. So I've forgotten a lot of people that worked there and went, but I've known everybody that's come in the door and left. And it's not going to be that far down the road where I'm going to be driving down Main Street going into Hannaford.
They're all new. I don't know anything.
Yeah, and I'm going to see a guy or girl driving a cruiser and going, who is that?
Yeah, and then he's going to be like, yeah, I used to be the chief there. And they're going to be like, man, whatever, old timer.
Yeah,
Stow it.
I know it happens. And I'm not looking forward to that because I think for me, all my fond memories of my career involves something inside the PD. The people I worked with, the Brents, the other, Bill Wadsworth, the officers that I started with back in 1990 that are no longer with us or working or doing other stuff. So my fondness or my reflection time is the people I worked with. The calls, and I hope I helped people through calls and prosecuted or taught them well in DARE or whatever I did. But my reflection is what I did with the officers and the people I led, people that led me, and those are the things I'm going to definitely miss. And so as I reflect,
You got to stay gone long enough that you get the smell back when you come in the building.
oh yeah. It's we were just talking about it yesterday.
I love it.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I love it
it's
so much.
Claremont PD is built in the 1970s. It has a distinct odor. It's not it doesn't stink.
It's like
It's just like
metal and
you go into Ruger's and it smells like the oils.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you don't go into, you forget about that smell. The minute you walk in there, you go, ooh, if you've been in there before or worked in there, you go, oh, I'm home. All right. And Claremont PD has that as
Yeah.
well. So
it has this very, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a distinct
Yeah.
metallic.
you have to be gone for a while to smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got it again when I came over here. I didn't go into the building for a little while, and when I went back in, I was like, it's home. It's home, man.
The black mold.
Yeah, it's home. Yeah, the building's cool. We have sewage issues. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes the exhaust doesn't work properly, but whatever.
Yeah. That's the way it is.
Just good. We have this all on record now, video record, so that for your lawsuit down the road when you get that black mold poisoning or something.
right.
That smell is so good. Oh, that's that black mold, Brent.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It is. So how many horses do you have?
So we board. We only have one horse.
That's yours, yeah.
And all the other horses are my favorite horses because they belong to someone else.
But you have two granddaughters who need their own horse.
No, they don't. They can share. So I own one, and I'm boarding currently 9 other horses up there.
Nice.
So it's fun. I enjoy it. I don't ride horses that often. I can. He wanted to challenge me to a horse race.
No, we're gonna do the modern pentathlon.
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's one of his ideas. Yeah. So, but I when I get out of work today, I will go muck the stalls, or one stall, because there's only one horse in the barn right now, and mow the lawn, and that's my happy place. Put my dad phones on, listen to the radio.
That's what I do.
Yeah, it's
You listen to the radio when you mow the lawn?
No, I have a station on Amazon Prime.
Tech now.
yeah. I got
Yeah.
my podcast going
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
don't listen. I listen to Steve WCNL quite often, the old country stuff. But other than that, I'm listening to my podcasts and stuff like that. So.
What are you listening to for podcasts?
Mike Rowe. I like Mike Rowe's show
civil defense
a lot.
stuff?
He's pretty good. I
Like
like
Mike Rowe,
him. Different stuff. What's the other one? Stuff you ought to know. Just interesting. There's
You are
stuff
an
you missed
old-
in history class. I
You're
like
an
that
old
one.
man.
Yeah, it is.
You
Oh,
are
yeah.
an old man.
Oh yeah.
He's got these weird trinkets in his office that they're farming related, and he'll quiz people. Do you know what this is? You're like, I have no idea. It's a metallic, egg looking thing. Why would you have something like that? I don't know, Mark. Why would you have that?
I don't have a picture of it, but I have a. It's bigger than a bullet. It's about the size of a
Finger.
Yeah, it's about the size of a finger. It's a magnet, and it's rounded on each side. And I have it in my office.
Do you know why you would have that?
It's very helpful when you see it, that helps with it. But
Around.
So
It's
like this on the sides or whatever.
yeah,
it looks like a finger. You know what I mean? But
it's a Zeppelin, but it's not fat in the middle. It's mini hot dog. Mini hot dog.
there you go.
Mini hot dog.
And it's magnetic.
And it's
on both
magnet.
sides?
It's
whole
just
thing
one big magnet.
Why would
It's
you
farming
have that?
related?
Yeah.
It's farming.
Farming related. I don't know, horseshoeing maybe. Or?
No.
No, that's not really farming.
So we were a dairy farm,
Oh.
and the cows
Thank
would.
you.
Yeah, we did have a horse or two, but cows. If you suspected that they got into something where they ate metal, because cows are not very smart, they just eat, and they produce milk, and they're delicious, and all this other stuff. But long story short, if you think
Should've
they,
went with
it's,
that answer. I was going to be like, you poop it out and
yeah. So you think they got into metal, they ate a nail or something like that. You put it, you force feed it. We have a big aluminum or cast aluminum plunger you shove down the cow's throat, and you put it down there. It goes into one of the stomachs, so they have a weird system for digestion, and it will sit there. And then if they ate any metal, the metal's going to stick to that, and the metal will rust. A nail doesn't take long in a digestive system, but eventually, the cow poops it out. And
That is interesting.
Yeah, so
I never would have thought that.
yeah.
Yeah, and so he's got this pooped out thing on his shelf in his office.
And so as a kid, we milked in the afternoon at 3:00. He went down and got the cows out of the pasture and called for him, and he went up, and I was walking back, and I know my father had those magnets, but one was in the field. My father kept track of the ones we had in the medicine shelf. You can't mess with those, even though I probably did. But I found one in the field, so that's mine. And I've had it since I was a little kid, so I brought it into work. And
You can't mess with the ones on the shelf? Why?
because he knows how many he has. And you put the hammer back to where you took it from.
Was rule strict like that?
Well, money's tight. If he needs it, he needs it. You left it there. Yeah.
What, did you rule the roost, or did he?
No, ruled the roost. My father's name was Rule. So no. If I had messed with them and they weren't there and he needed them, I would have
Got in
known
some serious
about
trouble.
it. Yes, I would have known about it, to put it politely.
So it was you and Greg?
I have an older brother, Keith. He's still
Keith.
in the Army, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So who ended up doing the farm chores?
We shared every other
Keith
morning.
too?
Keith, yeah, but he's 4 years older than me, so he joined the Army. I was in middle school when he joined the Army, and he was gone. And that's about the time where you really start getting in hauling milk, and you're a young man.
When did you sleep in?
Every other day.
No.
Oh, never. You didn't sleep in ever.
I thought you told me that rule came.
Oh, yeah. My father would come in the morning. If it was your turn to get up, it was between me and my brother Greg, before school. He'd open the door, get up. That's all he had to say. And I'm pretty good. I even as a kid, I could spin, put my feet on the floor, and I'm up. And there was one or two times where, okay, he'd get up, yep, and fall back asleep. Well, he'd tell you to get up as he's walking to the barn. So he'd get up, walk out the kitchen door, his coffee in hand, go down and start the milking, and he expected you down about 10 minutes later to start feeding the calves, do the cutters, whatever, the farm stuff that we had to do. And I slept in, and probably half an hour later, but my father, we had our farm was a older farm. There's probably not too many in operation the way we did it. We had 3 milkers. We went to the cows, they stanchion barn. So he's milking. He can't just put 3 milking machines on a cow and walk back in the house to wake me up. And but he did because they kick it off. You got to be right there with the cows. And yeah, that was not good days. That's probably trained me to get up quick
Because you got
because of that.
beat.
No, I didn't get. Well, my attention was drawn to the fact I wasn't where I was supposed to be. But
For the time period, you didn't get beat.
Yeah.
Today's standards,
that was fine. The fear of it was worse than the
Really?
actual event. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like
That's okay.
Like I have cows and a couple pigs and chickens, and I was talking to Jared Johnson, who his dad is Jolene Johnson, who owns Sanctuary Farm up in Marsh, or Wendell Flats. And I remember as a kid going there with my grandfather with a little milk can and getting milk, and we were just talking because I bought a round bale feeder for my cows, which has been the greatest thing I ever bought because they used to go through like a bail every 2 days, gone, history. Now it's like slowing down.
Right.
And it's like just how thankful, like he was saying, how thankful he was that he grew up like that.
Yeah.
And how I'm trying to get my kids, the fuel I have left in school, like I have a 2-year-old, so she loves going to get the chicken eggs every morning, like because that hard work, that ethic that they're learning is so valuable that we just don't see it like we used to. So I'm sure it was a hard life to grow up, but the value in that to me is just so much,
And what hardness was there? I mean, we had a pond in the backyard. I was fishing with my buddies when I wasn't doing the cows or haying. I had plenty of fun. So great memories of that stuff too. So as a kid, you didn't, no kid wants to get up every other day and go milking and feed the calves and go clean out the gutter and scrape poop from the side of the thing. But that's all good. I'd do that in a heartbeat right now.
You would.
And I am doing it. Yeah. I would do it. Yeah. And that's part of the reason I'm retiring.
Before I got into law enforcement, I was in construction. And those were hard days,
Yeah, building your own wagon on the Oregon Trail on a PC is not construction.
I would ford that river, though.
Yeah, okay.
Since I retired, the greatest thing is just going out in the garden. That's my biggest thing.
I love it.
Just sitting out there, I can pick up rocks, I can pull weeds by hand for 8 hours straight, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Really?
It's peaceful, it's relaxing. I got my music or a podcast.
I'm right with you.
I thought it was us doing the show was the best part.
Yeah.
Well,
so much for a swan song here.
No, but it's
It is.
so,
It is.
Especially after you work hard.
Yeah.
The stress that you've had.
I guess the other benefit is the life I've led. I see so many people that will never have that experience. I can, so I'm going to. So our customer base, they
And I'm sure
limited means and limited abilities that they're not going to have that. They could, but they're not. But I can, so I'm going to enjoy it. So
it's funny.
You worked hard for it.
Yeah.
Why not?
I work 7 days a week. It's this, then work, and then the farm, and it's nonstop. But really, when I get up to the farm stuff, it's work physically, but it's not really work. It's just you just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I never thought
rewarding.
in my life it is. It's rewarding. I have a big garden now. We have the animals. Never thought I would enjoy it. Growing up as a kid, I'd be like, no, it's the last thing I'd want to do. But now it's if I could somehow afford just to do that and do nothing else, would be awesome.
Yeah.
It is. It's just relaxing.
Hard life, though, probably, if you're trying to actually professionally have a farm.
Yeah,
Very hard life.
Yeah, exactly. We're in the middle of it. It just rained here a second ago, but we're in the middle of a drought. If you imagine being your whole livelihood dependent on whether we get rain,
Yeah.
And
not only that, but there's no days off, right? So
there's no days off.
You look at I'll just pick because it's sort of near me, but LeClaire Farm, every single morning at 4:00 in the morning, you're out there starting your chores, and you're doing them late into the day, and you're, and depending on the season, you're doing something different, whether you're, haying or you're planting corn or cutting, whatever it is that people do.
Yeah.
I feel like we've kind of forgotten about this area though, Vermont and New Hampshire, 20 years ago. When we had just graduated, or when we were in school even, which was more than 20 years ago, but there's so many farms here. Vermont and New Hampshire are just known for farming, especially dairy farming and stuff. Mm-hmm. We lost so many of those.
Oh yeah.
In the over the years that we've kind of forgot. That's kind of what our area was about. I mean, tourism, but also farming was a huge part of it.
Well, the soil's so rich here. We have great farming soil. The Connecticut River Valley.
Oh, that's beautiful down through there.
Some of the best farmland in the country. It's rocky.
Yep.
We grow rocks here, but
we do.
But yeah, it's great soil. So you should have
terrible.
A garden,
What's that?
You should have a garden. Okay.
I'm too busy, Mark, trying to be a police chief.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's why you can retire, and then you can do it. That's why I'm going to do it.
Well, congratulations on retirement.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks for bringing him in today.
Hey, thanks for having me, and I know it's sort of a drag to have him on, but I just thought
we made it through, though, right?
Yeah, we did. Barely.
Thank you for being our police chief in Newport.
Thanks for having me.
It is
coming on to our show.
Yeah, it's been a good time.
It is sad you're going to be leaving Newport, but we do.
I'm not that far away.
I know.
You know, I'm not
Trust
dead.
me, you won't get rid of us.
Yeah.
We already talked about where we want
Yeah.
you to come back, and we'll just have to find a different time that
Yeah,
works.
well,
But
Well, we got. I made a commitment. I'm going to say to myself, but I made a commitment that when I get over there, I'm just going to focus on work and not try to spread myself too thin with external obligations because. You know,
Yeah, it's only fair to the town.
yeah, and one of the things that I realized when I came over here, I actually, this is going to come off sounding a little bit odd, but and I'm playing with a bullet, but you know, I got a little bit lucky to some degree with COVID because like everything shut down. But what I have realized is that there's a lot of demands that are placed on you, and I would think that there's probably more demands placed on you than there were placed on me, and. I'm a fairly distractible guy, and I have to get myself into a rhythm before I can figure out like what other distractions I can handle. You know.
so we know we can
Squirrel.
distract
Squirrel.
you with food. So that's
Oh yeah,
positive.
that's
Yeah.
definitely it. Yeah.
Now we could get Mark to come in and we talk about farming things.
There you go.
This is a win-win.
I'm all about it.
Yeah, we love farming stuff.
Now I'm going to go buy another
Yeah, when you start talking farming, I feel
set of
left out.
jars just to make
Oh,
sure.
you go get them quick. Go get them
Those
quick.
moonshiners.
I'm going to have a lot
oh,
of tomatoes. I counted, what did I say, 170?
Plants?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of tomatoes. And you know what? They all come at once.
I know. I'm excited about it. But I'm going
Yeah.
to share. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
Put
That's
on
the
a farmer's market.
That is the
I
best
might.
part. That is the best part of the garden.
It's
What did I just give you today? Or no, yesterday?
Jelly.
Jelly that we
Yeah,
made
well,
from.
that has nothing to do with tomatoes.
Well, it's good. That's canning, and
Yeah.
that's.
You want to know what
Hold on,
Mark?
have I ever
you wanna know
given
what
you
Mark does
salsa?
when you catch him? When you're like, that was a stupid thing you just said. He goes right to violence every time. He does. He usually like punch you in the arm or something like that. I'm like, why does it have to go to violence right away? But that's.
I've given you my.
I think it's because you had an older
pickles.
brother that beat your.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Beat your
That's
head in.
until one day he couldn't, and then he stopped.
Whatever.
That's what happens with brothers. Until I level.
Did you take a poke at him?
No, we fought, and I
Held your
became
own.
his equal, and then we stopped fighting.
Then it was no fun anymore
yeah,
for him, anyways.
Yeah, for him anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and we were fine after.
What about
that.
Greg?
That's what I'm talking about. Greg.
Keith?
Keith didn't beat on me. No, he's 4 years older than me. He schmucked me. A 16-year-old beating up a 12-year-old. No. But Greg, my brother Greg, he works at Ruger's in Newport. He's about 18 months older than me. So, yeah, we always had some stuff going on, and I was a little twit. I instigate him quite often, like little brothers do.
What
So,
year did you graduate? 85?
84. He was 2 years ahead of me in class.
Because he was smarter than you.
No, because he was 18 months older than me. You're not paying attention?
18 months. It's one grade.
Read a math book now. So, but yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it's all good stuff. So,
Awesome. Well,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
having us.
Thank
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah, good time.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, guys. Fit Tim and Steve show. See you tomorrow.